Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Vegas Chips. Originally born and raised in Las Vegas, music producer, songwriter, publisher, engineer, label owner, right? So I wear many hats. Been doing it for a while. Yeah, so like originally I was probably like 5.5, 6 years old, and I started taking like guitar lessons and stuff, but I don't remember any of that. I want to say I was probably around 10, 11. I started getting into like drums. I played in the marching band, so I thought it was fun. I like the percussion. I like the rhythmic vibes to it. And from that point, I want to say I was maybe like 15 when I was first introduced to like an MPC 2000. And, I just started learning how to make beats and then getting more and more into, VSTs and things like that later on. But yeah, so I've pretty much been doing it my whole life. I did take a little hiatus, but when you love something, you always come back. Well, basically, being in Las Vegas, especially, back in the day, there wasn't like a lot of places you could go to for like commercial quality recordings. I'm talking even prior to like the Palms. We were, we were trying to make the best we could with what we had at that time, and what I think it was is that, when you started off as a rapper, and then you realize I can't find anybody to make cool beats. So then you have to learn how to make beats. And then once you make the beats and then you write, I just took the initiative, bought some equipment, learned how to record, and then once you get it recorded, hey, guess what? What comes next? The mixing, mastering, and then the marketing, and then, actually releasing it, all the administrative side, to make sure all your paperwork is right. So there's so many levels and layers to this thing that, a lot of people are compartmentalized, so they only know like one little section. And so, I've been very blessed and driven to learn these things. I want to be educated in the field I'm in, and feel the better educated I am, the better armed I am to make educated decisions. So, that's really what it is. Well, right now, like my main thing is I just want to be authentic. Like, not saying that they're not all the time, but they're under different circumstances. The labels can kind of dictate what gets released a lot of times and things like that. And by them being able to filter out what they don't want released, I think that lets them put out the agenda they want. I'm not censored here. A lot of the things in the industry right now, they're really negative. A lot of like Satan worship, devil worship, people just having like a whole bunch of evil tattoos, like really from a dark, sad place, and a lot of those people, unfortunately, are lost souls that need to find themselves. And there's not a lot of music for somebody like me right now that I could go play and listen, because it's like, I don't want to hear the negativity. I grew up in a place of negativity, and I feel any intelligent person would want to elevate from that. So why keep yourself trapped in that mind state? So I want to be the alternative. Every song's not going to be popcorn and bubblegum, because that's not what it is, but I want to be authentic. I'm going to tell real stories, true stories, events I've either seen, been a part of, with different scenarios. That's really, what I feel I'm here to do. And as you can probably hear from some of the music I write, like, I have a firm belief in God, and not belief, but I feel I have a relationship with God. And when you realize your own power, anything is possible. I'm not really intimidated to go up against everything, because I know I'm going against the grain. It would be easier for me to go make the music they make. That's the reality of it. But to stay true to myself, I want to make what I want to make. And I know that there's millions of people out there that also want to hear what I make, because they want to hear positivity, and I'm not saying it's just me, but that's what I'm on. I'm sure there's other people out there with the same agenda, so. I think that's probably the most important thing. You have to make sure everyone in your circle is going to pull their weight. Word is their bond, and that's the main things. Like, if someone is truthful, loyal, and dedicated, You know, that's really what the recipe is. And you know, unfortunately, a lot of times weak links can work their way into circles, but you have to remember that chain is only as strong as that weakest link. So it's very important to keep your circle small and tight, because you know, I've been in situations before, you know, where the circle was a lot bigger. My circle's a lot smaller now. Like, you know, I could I could count on one hand how tight the circle is. So I gotta swag when I walk, I gotta swag when I talk, I gotta swag, I gotta swag from the block, I gotta swag. Well, I think first of all, you just have to like ignore the critics, because critics, that's their job, is to criticize things. And if you just put the actions in, you know, put the work in, let your work speak for itself, you know, eventually good things will come. And that's the main thing from that, I could say. Actually, I think a song is dropping today, if I'm not mistaken, from the block. I gotta swag when I walk, I gotta swag when I talk, I gotta swag, I gotta swag from the block, I gotta swag when I walk. This song from the block, that's like over a old school hip hop kind of beat, but you know, it was fun, man. It was like one just to kind of represent, you know, where I came from originally. And I think it's gonna be a good one. But I have a song called What's the Deal coming, you know, a relationship song. I think that one's gonna be pretty nice. That's next week. But probably the biggest one is a collaboration I have coming with David Siegel, Angel Gomez on guitar. Cause it's lonely up here in my own zone. I'm in deep space flight off a whole zone. Just bumping through the speakers just to own load. Skywalking on the ozone. Skywalking on the ozone, baby, yeah. Skywalking on the ozone. That one's called Ozone, so we shot a video to that. I've been getting a lot of feedback. Everyone who's heard it, they think it's a good like mixture, fusion of like the urban hip hop elements I like, mixed with some pop music, mixed with like even some rock elements, because Angel's, like I said, playing the electric guitar. So it was something new for me, and it made me step outside the box, and I'm actually grateful I did, you know. And we'll see. Well, right now, I mean, I just look at it like, I think things got blown out of proportion nowadays. People lost sight of what's really valuable. It's, you know, what really makes a person, you know, have their self-worth. And I want to say it was probably like 10, 12 years ago, you know, my wife and I, we literally, we sold all of our gold. Yeah, you know, all of our jewelry, I should say. We sold all of our jewelry, except for our wedding rings, you know. And then every once in a while, you'll see me throw some earrings in. As you can see right now, like today, I'm just rocking a hemp string, right? This string is made out of hemp. And this is hematite, you know, and just keep me grounded right here in my center chakra a little bit, you know, keep me calm, you know, going through a lot. Yeah, I've always felt that way. I think I've struggled with the way of how to get it out, you know. If you go back to like my old music originally, like when I was part of Cash Out, and you know, we produced that, you know, put that out, Lost Wages Entertainment. You know, I was really coming from a different place. You know, back then life was a little bit darker. We were younger, we were going through a lot of things that I wouldn't wish on anybody. So the music was darker, you know, everything was darker. But I realized all I was doing was projecting negativity and making it sound cool, you know. And then like in Las Vegas, you know, especially back then when that came out, like, you know, there was a new area of Green Valley at the time, you know. And I'm from the historic West Side, you know, A9106. I grew up in the Village, you know, Nye Street, Robin and Dune area. But when that music actually like got pretty popular out in the Green Valley area, I was seeing like little young kids playing the music and kind of glamorizing what we were saying on it and what we were doing. And it just kind of made me realize, like, wow, like that, you know, that wasn't my intention. My intention was to kind of like release who we are and what we were going through at the time. But then I seen that, by doing that, life imitates art. And in a sense, we were like causing detrimental destruction to society that was unnecessary in a sense. And I think that's why now things I do, I come from a positive approach, because I want to leave the world better than when I got here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things going on where it doesn't seem like it's going that direction, but we all got to do our part, and there's enough negativity out there, so let's shine some light. Positivity is not is not a bad thing. You can be cool and be positive. Like you brought up the gold, and I said the hematite, but I mean, there's multiple crystals. There's things that actually have spiritual value. Gold does too, to an extent. Depending on how it's worn and where it's worn too. But just being more, not a minimalist, but a naturalist. You know what I mean? Where you respect the earth, but you know that this is just a temporary home, and that our goal is to ultimately get to the eternal home in heaven. And we're not going to get in there by doing negative things and causing other people pain and heartache, or destroying who they are by having them glamorize something that is negative. So I definitely want to do my part by opening eyes. There's a lot of people who just like the way the music sounds, like the beats and the melodies. So that's the one thing with my music. You'll hear I really take time to make sure that the beat and the melody is really a dope marriage. And then from that point, what I say is just on top of that. Half the people don't listen to the words. So I feel the ones that will listen to the words, and the ones that do listen to the words, would like to listen to my music, because I drop little jewels in there every now and then. And yeah. I think the hardest thing that I've had to learn over the years is to really not give it energy. Me being the person I was back then, I wanted to know, how come this guy doesn't like me? How come she doesn't like me? Like, what did I do? And I just realized it doesn't matter. If you don't like me and I'm being me authentically, then there's nothing I could do or should do to try to make you like me. I know I'm a good person. God knows who I am, and that's who ultimately judges me at the end of the day. So all the he say, she say, a lot of it, is people just trying to be relevant, or people hearing a story from someone else that wasn't even true, or there's even a story around it. I haven't personally came across the guy or whatever, but I've heard a couple people say there's a guy out here going by the name of Chips, as a nickname. So sometimes they confuse us, because I guess he somewhat resembles me. I don't know. I haven't seen him or whatnot. I've been told this maybe 2 or 3 times. So, but for those who do know me, my real name is Chips. It's even in my yearbooks. You guys know who went to school with me, right? So, but my real name is Chips, and I go by Vegas Chips. So. Yeah, originally, when I first started getting back into music, I wanted to stay behind the scenes. It's I'm married, I got a family, I got kids, and it wasn't really my intentions to be in front of the camera. And I was trying to work with several artists. I was putting time into people, and either some people just weren't really ready, or quite as ready as I was at that time. Instead of wasting energy on other people, I'll just tell the story. So there was a point in time where I had a studio booked in North Hollywood. Shout out to Eric Rikers, Echo Bar Studios, Bob Horn. Anyway, I had a whole day booked. I think I want to say it was like a 10-hour day. I had an artist that was supposed to be coming there. Eric Rikers could probably even remember this, but the artist wasn't able to make it. And so long story short, here I was with all this studio time, all this equipment at my fingertips, basically. Instead of wasting the time, it was actually Aaron and I. We were out there at Echo Bar, and I want to say it was 4 songs in one day. From me making the beat, tracking it out, Aaron getting it tracked out, ready in Pro Tools, literally I'm writing as he's tracking it into Pro Tools. Hop in the booth, boom. And it was more of just like a, I don't want to waste this time. Let's just see what we can do. We had an opportunity for some sync licensing things at that time. So I was like, I'm going to do it. And actually, Aaron had one beat already made too. So that was 5 beats that we had total. Laid songs, everything. I waited to mix and master it when I got back home. But that whole EP was literally done in a day and a half. We weren't going to even put it out. You know, all of a sudden I was just, you know what? I haven't put anything out in a while. I'm just going to throw it out. I'm just going to throw it out. It's just going to sit here, right? And I started getting good feedback, and people were like, dang, you know, like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. You know, I knew you rapped, or I knew you mixed and mastered, but I didn't know you could do that. And I'm like, you know, it made me realize, like, there's a lot about me that people don't know, you know. And maybe I showed it a little bit more, you know. People would be a little more receptive to it, too. So once we put that out, it made me realize, like, wow, okay, like, I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. And realistically, it wasn't like if I was really intending to put it out to be like an amazing project, I would have relayed the vocals. I probably would have done some things, because listening back to Pinnacle now, you'll hear my vocals are rough. And that's even proof that it wasn't my intention to really elevate to the level that I'm putting out music now and in the future. But the opportunity presented itself, and, you know, we've been very blessed to sign a couple contracts with some sync licensing. I've been able to, you know, put out my own music, and now we're working with some independent investors to fund my projects and really get me to the status I need to be to elevate. So. I would say the best place is probably VegasChipsMusic.com. If you guys can go on there, sign up for the newsletter subscription. We're going to start doing some giveaways and special discounts and stuff too directly on our website. If you don't want to do that, I suggest, you know, at least subscribing on YouTube, Vegas Chips Music on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the Vegas Chips Music page, because that's the one with the music videos on it. And you can find me on Instagram, you know, at Vegas_chips. That's at Vegas_chips. And yeah, definitely, like, you'll see a lot more coming. I think we have 5 singles scheduled for the next 10 weeks. So we're dropping a single every 2 weeks, people. So, you know, we got it moving. And on top of that, I'm working on a whole project. We're not sure if it's going to be an EP or full album at this point, but, you know, it's definitely in the works. So now's a good time to really stay tuned, because the music is progressively getting better. I'm opening up more as an artist, like getting really more personable and deeper, because like I said, it wasn't my intentions at first to be an artist, so I was writing songs a little more generically. And now that I've been thrusted into this role a little bit more, I'm opening up, and like I said, I want people to really know who Vegas Chips is, what he stands for. And as you guys know, I'm about family, I'm about God, right? I'm about business, honesty, integrity, positivity. So when you think of Vegas Chips, think of those things. All right, yeah, no problem. Yeah, appreciate it. Ooh. All right, you guys have a good one.